So, for filling in the electrical installation certificate, what you've got here is details of the client and the client's address. So what I would use in any examples here is I would probably put GB Met. And if you wanted to, then you could put the address would be Wilson Avenue. And what we would do for the purpose of this example, we would say that the installation is a new installation. And then we would look at who's designed it. Now, you could put that if it was an installation that you'd recently done, you would be the designer and you would construct it and you would be testing inspection. So what we could say for this example is that it would be yourself, you know, so you could put your details of who it was and the date and fill through here. And the same with the construction, you could put your details and your signature and the details there. That was for the departures. But you should go through here. So even though there's quite a few columns, they're all the same. It's for whoever's designed it, whoever's constructed it, and whoever has inspected and tested. Now, this will be you for this purpose. You will be doing the test and inspection. Now, what we can see from here is it wants a bit more of the particulars. So whoever has signed in the previous boxes, what it will require is an address, designer, an address. So you could put the details in those boxes. Then we come to the supply characteristics and earthing arrangements, and that would be given to you when you see your design. So when you do the inspection and testing, above the testing inspection rigs, they will have these details. You know, you could normally get these from your network, but what you'd see is it would either be a TNS, TNCS. So for this example, we'll put TNCS. And the number of live conductors. So we're dealing with AC, and what we're saying is it's one phase, single phase. Now TNCS, you know, so it's a combined and then separated. So, you know, we got one wire, one phase, two wire coming in, two pole DC, three phase. So we would go through those boxes and then we would get given the nominal voltage. So we could say it was 230 and we could say 50 Hertz. And then what we'll do is we'll measure some of these things in here and the supply protective characteristics. So what the type of the breaker, the BS number of the fuse and the type, and we'll have a look at those in a minute when we go through it. And then we have here is means of earthing. So is it a distributor's earth? Yeah, we haven't said it's a TT system if it was. So we haven't got an earth electrode here. So we could put NA for these details. And then we can have a look at our main switch in a second, which we'll do. So we'll have a look at the main switch, we'll have a look at our main breaker, we'll have a look at the number of poles and the supplies and the cross-sectional area of the conductors. We'll look at RCDs, earthing conductors, main bonding, and see if there's gas and water. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at these on the video now, and we'll have a look and we'll see what the situation is. And then we can see where we're going to add these. And then what we'll actually do is we can actually have a look at the installation itself. And what we'll do is we can have a look at the installation and we'll go through the schedule. As we say, for new installation, we've said it's a new installation and we're not going over 100 amps. So that's the detail here. So we'll look at the service head, we'll look at the service cables, we'll look at the earthing arrangement, we'll look at the meter tails, we'll look at the metering equipment and we'll tick it. And as we can see that we're saying our service cable is okay, and we're saying that our service head is okay, and the earthing arrangement is okay, and our meter tails are okay, and our metering equipment. Now in this particular installation we haven't got an isolator, so we're going to put NA. Now parallel or switched alternative supplies. We don't have any alternative supplies or generating sets or anything like that. So we're going to put NA for these. And basically, if we've got these things, then we'll answer them. If we haven't got them, then what we will do is we will put NA. And we'll slowly go through. So we'll look at the video now and we'll have a look to see if we've got any of these other situations, and we'll have a look at the conductors, and then we'll have a look at the earthing arrangements. So have we got presence of adequate earthing? So we can have a look at that and we can say yes. Distributors earthing arrangements, we can say that's fine. Installation of an earth electrode. Well, we've said that we haven't got one on this system, so we're going to put NA. Earthing conductor, including accessibility, we can see that. And we can see we've got that. We've got the mains protective conductor. Provisions for safety electrical bonding labels. Now there should be labels on here, and if we have a look we'll find some labels, we can see those. And is there an RCD? And I believe there is an RCD, so we'll just have a quick look at that and we'll see we've got the RCD. So we'll just have a quick look at that and we'll just double check those again. Now, basic protection, presence of adequate measuring and provided installation of live parts and barriers enclosures with the correct IP. So we'll have a look at the system and make sure that all the lids are on, everything's screwed up, everything's correct. We can't touch anything that we need to be, and anything that needs to be IP rated is IP rated. So we'll have a look at that, and that's fine. So we're just going to pause that for a second. You should now be seeing a video of the test form. So what you would need to put here is the reference number of the distribution board. So in our case, it's the test room, and then the location. So actually, so we can put test wall, and then we can put test room. And then what we would do is we will go through and we will fill out all of these in a step-by-step manner, filling out the circuit description. So tested by me in capitals, so that's Paul, and there's my signature and today's date. So I'm just going to put in a date for there. So for example, we could take the 15th of June 2002. And the next thing is that we're going to fill out this board. So we're going to do this bit by bit as we go, going through all the different circuits that we've got, starting from here. So we've got circuits, first floor, shower, and then we've got lights and lights. So we've got sockets, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got sockets first, then we've got shower. I'll fill these out a bit neater afterwards. Shower, and then we've got lights and lights. And then what we would do is we would take the details that we've got from these BS numbers here and we would populate them. So we would look at the BS numbers that we've got on here and we take these details. So on here I've got a 609868. Oh, get my glasses on. 60890. 60898, 60898. So we would go through the list here and we would put in this tiny little area 60898 and we'd work our way through. So 898, and we would go through here. Then we would put the type of the breaker. So we would look at the type of breaker that we've got here, B32, B20, B6, B6, and we would put that there. So we've got B, type B, type B, type B, and type B. And then we would put the rating, so 32, 20, and 6, and 6. And then we would look at the braking capacity. And we would look here in this little box, and I'll show you on something else if I can add that in there, but we can see that we've actually got 6,000. So our braking capacity is 6,000. Because it's in K here, KA, we just need to put 6. So our braking capacity for all our breakers is 6. And then what we would do is have our maximum permitted ZS and our reference method. And we'll have a look at those in a second, and we'll look at the reference method and we'll look at the cables. List. So what we would do is we would fill out our form once again, filling out the size of the cable. So we've got 2.5. We'll just double check what we've got here on our CPCs. So they've got 1.5s on the CPCs, 2.5 there. So we would look at the size of the cables, and we have 1.5. Is it on singles? It should be 2.5 on there, 2.5. Say for the shower, I think it's running 4 mil. And then we've got 1.5 and 1.5. Because we run in singles, they will be the same size. And then we'll look at the testing. Now, the first thing that I would recommend with the testing is having a look at the circuits and going through the test sheet and filling in the information that we need on the test sheet and filling in the information that we don't need on the test sheet. So first thing we can look at is, okay, we have sockets. So leave this one blank for a second, but the shower is not a ring. So we do not need a ring for the shower. So these tests can be blanked out. The same for the lighting. So we can do this. So we can do that. I'll just check and see if there's any bonding on this circuit. I'll have a look to see if there's any bonding. 1, 2, 3. There's no bonding on this one at the moment. We'll have a look at the bonding. There is actually a bonding circuit, so I'm going to add that down here as well, and that is for the water pipe. So we're just going to put water pipe here. There's nothing there, and it looks like it's a 16 mil, but we'll check that in a second. So there's nothing there, it's a 16 mil cable there. So what you can see is we're just blanking off the areas that we don't need. Now, when we do the continuity testing, we are going to be using an R1, R2. So we're not going to do an R2 test. So we'll cross that out until we get to the bonding where we are going to do an R2 test, which is just the long lead test. So we're going to blank that one out. Okay, so as you can see, what we've done is we've started to fill out the form. As we're not going to use anything else on the form, what I would just do, and I will go down further, is I would just block it all off. So when you end up with a test certificate, and I'll show you one later, that literally only has the columns that you need to fill, only the columns that you need to then populate. Yeah, and then we'll go through the insulation resistance, we'll have a look at the polarity, and we'll have a look at the other tests that we've got here. So basically, we're simply going through the test. So I'll put in the details of the meters that we're going to use in a minute. And we have a variety of meters that we can use. So there's different types of meters that we can use for doing the testing, but the testing that we're doing at the moment is quite basic testing. So what we can do here is just get a video going on here. So what we can do, we're not getting a video of that, is we could use a tester like this. We could use the Mega, and we can use, which we will be, so we can use the MFT 1720, and we can do this, and this will have the tests that we need to do. It will have insulation resistance, but when we're doing the testing, we could use this, or we could use a simple tester that we started doing, which was this one, which a lot of you have used, and it just basically is an ohms tester. It does high and low. Yeah, so it will do our insulation resistance and it will do our continuity testing. So by using these two different types of testers, so we can use these different types of testers and we can just go through some of the tests that we're going to do. So that basically is the introduction of filling in the schedule of test results. And that's how we start the basis of it. And then what we do with the series of these videos that we've got, we will go through step by step on each circuit, doing a little video on each of those tests and then filling in the test results that we've got on our circuit. So we're just going to go through step by step